Friends, so it's the US Open finals day today. It's Djokovic versus Medvedev, as most of us predicted. And what's going to happen now? It's a big match for Djokovic. A lot of achievements on the line. He can get to 21st Grand Slam. He can get to the calendar Grand Slam. He can be regarded as the greatest player of all time by many of the fans, of the experts, if he is able to do this. And then we have Medvedev, who is looking for his first Grand Slam title. He is experienced, although far less experienced than Djokovic, but he has been in the finals before, most recently at the Australian Open 2021 as well. Medvedev lost to the same man that he's facing, Djokovic. It was a straight set loss, but the first set was very competitive. That is what Medvedev would be hoping to produce when he gets on the court tonight. So let's start with some of the key stats that we can discuss about these two players. So the first one is the head-to-head, and as you can see, head-to-head Djokovic leads 5 matches to 3. So it's not a one-sided affair, although 60% of the matches have been won by Djokovic, but it's not that easy for Djokovic if you see. And the last match, as I discussed, was at the Australian Open 2021. Djokovic won it in straight sets. Now, Australian Open is the favorite surface of Djokovic, so that also should be considered. Whereas in the US Open, Djokovic has suffered a bit of losses, which is against Nadal, Federer in the recent past, and Medvedev has been in the finals, so it's not like the same conditions will not be there as we see in the Australian Open. And Medvedev is continuously improving as a player. So if you saw Medvedev 2 or 3 years back, he was a different player, but right now he looks like a top 5 player, and he has this amazing ability, the amazing court craft. You never know what he is going to come up with. He has a lot of variety in his game, so it's very hard to predict what he's going to do. And that is what the problem is for Djokovic, because with Zverev and with all the other players, Djokovic at least knows what he can expect from the other player, how they are going to play, what's going to be the patterns, what's going to be the strategy that the other guy will, have. But with Medvedev, it's not that predictable, because Medvedev is able to hit all the shots in the book. He is technically very sound. He's a good mover on court. He can play almost all the shots. And B, the most important point is he can adjust his game midway during the match. So it's not like if you are able to beat him in the first set with a specific shot, you can continue to do that in the second set, because he will adjust his game. He'll try something different, and he'll ask you questions constantly for the whole duration of the match. So that is where I think Djokovic needs to be really careful. If you see the first serve points, which I will say that it's the most important part of Djokovic's game in this match, he has to serve well so that he stays in control. And when Medvedev is serving, because Medvedev is also a good server, but Djokovic can then attack using his return ability. So you can see here 82% of the points Medvedev has won when his first serve has gone in this whole tournament. And even for second serve points, 57% is a very healthy percentage. But at the same time, if you see, Djokovic is the tournament leader for most first and second serve receiving points won. So obviously we know that he's the best returner in the game. So that's going to be the battle, and I think it will come down to who plays well at this specific day will win the match, because both the players play well. Djokovic obviously is more experienced, and he is the GOAT, as you will say. So it depends on how Djokovic plays, but it also depends on how Medvedev plays. If he comes up with a lot of variety, and because Djokovic will have extra pressure because a lot of things are on the line, so Medvedev would try to use that pressure early on. Let's say if he gets a break early, and if he's able to serve well, if he gets the first set, things will get very interesting in the match. And I will say that if it goes to 4 or 5 sets, somehow I feel that it will favor Medvedev more, because then it will bring a lot of pressure on Djokovic. We saw that at the French Open 2015 against Wawrinka, where Wawrinka was playing really well. Djokovic had very few chances, but in the fourth set, if you remember, Djokovic was having a lead 3-0, but then Wawrinka was able to come back, and Djokovic was not able to try too much, not been able to be too aggressive, because he was under pressure. It was his first French Open, chance to win it. He had already beaten Nadal, so the pressure, the nerves were visible, quite visible there. And that is what I think he has to be careful about in this match. He has to have that same attitude that he has displayed in this whole tournament, which is of hunger to win. And he should actually show his emotions on court. That would be better for him. If he plays well within himself, I think it will not help. He should be more expressive. He should celebrate more points, try to, intimidate the opponent, try to, display that he's here for the victory. So that sort of mindset would definitely help Djokovic in this match. So in terms of the key factors, we already discussed that it's the biggest final in terms of achievements for Djokovic. A lot of things are at stake. We'll discuss that in the next slide. Medvedev is looking to get his first Grand Slam. Djokovic's first serve and net game are the key. So we know that Medvedev doesn't like to move forward a lot. He doesn't like to come to the net as much. So Djokovic can employ, his slice, slow and low slice, just to bring Medvedev forward, and Djokovic passing ability, as we all know, is superb. So he can try that tactic if the baseline game does not work. So that is an advantage that Djokovic would have. He can also go for serve and volley. Medvedev returns very far behind the baseline. So Djokovic can, predict that which way Medvedev is going to return, and he can move forward, try to win a few points on his serve and volley. Djokovic needs to play well consistently. That is very important because we all know Medvedev. It doesn't look like, that guy has some sort of, firepower or a USP, but still he's able to beat the top guys, and that is because he plays well consistently throughout the whole match. He's able to adjust. He has so much variety. He thinks a lot on the court. He knows what he needs to do to win. So that I think it's very hard for someone to play against a player like that, because you never know how he's going to adjust or what he's going to do. As I already mentioned, if it goes to 5 sets, Medvedev could be the favorite because a lot of pressure would be on Djokovic, because a lot is at stake. So that is why I feel that Djokovic should win it in straight sets or 4 sets and should not allow this match to go to a 5 setter if possible. Now the significance of this title is huge. As you all know, Djokovic can move ahead of Federer and Nadal and get to his 21st Grand Slam title. Djokovic can also win a calendar Grand Slam, which has only been achieved by Rod Laver twice. So a quite elite group Djokovic can be a part of if he is able to do this. And another, record that Federer and Nadal don't have. So probably another point in the GOAT debate. And for Medvedev, this could be his first Grand Slam title after being in a couple of finals already. So I think Medvedev would be more motivated than ever to win this match. Now, if we talk about the prediction would be Djokovic to win in 3 or 4 sets. I still feel that Djokovic would be very, very motivated to win this title. He has the game, he has all the abilities that he needs to have to win this match and to win this tournament. If you talk about draws, the road to the finals, as I discussed in my previous video, it's been comparatively easier for Medvedev to get to the finals because he has not faced any top player, with due respect to all the other players. But Djokovic and Zverev both had to face some quality opponents who have the experience of the big stages in tennis. So I think that way Djokovic is better prepared, but at the same time he must be somewhat fatigued because of that. But I would say that would help him in this match because he has faced tough situations. Especially his previous match against Zverev was very high quality affair. So Djokovic, if he is able to play with the same level, I know it was not that good in first or maybe the fourth set for Djokovic. He was struggling with his forehand. If he somehow is able to get through that and somehow is able to hold his serve, I think it will be good for him to start off in this match. And for Medvedev, as I would say, he has to start well himself. He has to be unpredictable. He has to try different things just to break Djokovic's rhythm, as I already discussed. If you want to beat Djokovic, you have to break the rhythm of Djokovic. You have to try different things, change the pace of every shot, change the direction, try to use the drop shots, just try to do something different so that Djokovic is not able to get into the rhythm. Whereas Djokovic will try to serve well, first of all get the first set, and then if he is able to get the momentum, I think his motivation and his hunger would get him through. So let's see what happens, guys. Let's hope that it's a good match, and thanks for watching.